if you can get AI generated results when you type something into the Google search bar, what happened to the people who created the content or whatever result you got? That's a question that I have. Given this whole conversation around the most recent AI Google search changes, if you didn't know, Google recently basically said we're going all in on AI and its results. Normally, you type something into the search bar, you'd get a AI overview, but you'd also get the top ranked links. Now, what's happening is AI powered or AI generated results that you're going to get. And inside those results, they may reference your business or your website, depending on what was inputted. So, the people who created the content need to be ranked, not even ranking, because they just need to be able to be found by the agents, the AI agents, right? Now, I have not been a user of Google search in a while, ever since they came up with that AI overview whenever you type something into the Google search bar and then give it that AI overview. From then, what it started doing was giving you kind of summary of whatever it is you search for, and sometimes copying from people's websites directly there. You would see that. So you wouldn't necessarily even need to visit somebody's website. So I kind of quit Google search for a lot ever since then, and I've been using DuckDuckGo because I don't get none of that. I get to do my own search after typing in what I want. But this change has obviously, if not expectedly, have people, especially bloggers, not saying, okay, now what? Am I now obsolete? And it begs the question, that's a fair and valid concern, fear even, but I want to encourage you to step away from the fear mongering and panic and look at what possible opportunities exist. Outside of AI, whatever your gripe may be with AI, outside of the environmental impacts of it, a lot can be said against AI in terms of what it's causing and what it the impact is having on certain things, critical thinking skills, that type of thing. But if you look at it, I think there's an opportunity for folks who can tap into what's going on and basically listen to the market and adapt, pivot if they will. Because one of the things that happened with this change, one, AI, Google forced this change on people, meaning what these agents can do is 24/7 scour the web, websites, blogs, social media, and give you updates on the particular thing you search for. And then you, in addition to additional criteria that you might give it, and it will then connect it to a particular provider's website or a particular provider, so you can book or whatever you're going to do. So it says now you can create an alert basically and get these updates. First of all, why you think I already I deal with all this spam email? Why do I want to get these updates every second? Just why? But what unexpectedly happened, and I think a lot of people did not like that. And so what happened was engines like DuckDuckGo saw an increase, I think up to about maybe 30% within the first couple of days after this change was announced. And because people are like, I want to do the search myself, I want my privacy, I don't want to be forced into this relationship I did not ask for. So that in and of itself is an indicator that people want options. And so this now begs the question, what do you do as a content creator, as a food blogger? What do you do in the face of this, a change like this? Because it means now that your website ranking is probably not the kingpin that it once was, with AI generated results now being pushed. So the concern about AI is real for more than it just destroying the planet. Because you spent years as a blogger making the recipes, doing especially that SEO work so that you could rank, and it would drive people could come to your website. Google made some changes some time ago, which people saw a drop off in traffic, and it took months for it to start building. Now with this happening, clicks might drop. That said, the flip side, as I shared before with DuckDuckGo seeing an increase in installs, it means that looking for options, people are searching for options where they don't have to be subject to that. And so they still want to be given the highest ranked, or they still want reliable results. And usually through ranking, uh, that's how you show up. So the concern, being as big as it is understandable. And the question is, after doing all of that work that you did, is it worth it? And I say yes, it is, because it taught you a lot of skills that you never had before as a blogger. It also kind of prepared you for what's happening now in terms of being able to pivot, or looking at the market and seeing what opportunities exist. Because I know as bloggers, you have to think on your feet, and I think this is no different, because what this is showing you, or should show you, is that information alone isn't the valuable thing, as seen by people wanting to switch to like DuckDuckGo. Information isn't the thing that people want, or isn't the most valuable thing, because with a food blogger, what you get is not just a recipe. With AI, you could easily just get a recipe, and of course, it's going to scour the net too to steal people's work and give it to you, or some copycat of recipes that do exist. But what it won't necessarily give you are the personal notes, the stories, the possible substitutions, the many testing or tested variations that may have happened. It's not going to give you that. It's not going to replicate. So as the personal insights, the notes, the substitutions, the little tips that you get only from having that experience, that human experience. So it can summarize your recipe and spit it out somewhere else, or some other version of it, but it can't replicate you. And so I think it's important to keep that in mind. And the reason this is even more important, again, as exhibited by the folks, switching from Google search, is, can they trust it? Because me, whenever I see something with AI pop up and having used it, know that you have to tell it to be factual. And because it will straight up lie, it will straight up not give you credible information. And so in this age where you have to pressure test, you have to do a lot of fact checking, it has made people skeptical of the information that they do gather. And so they're going to look for, well, not in every instance, but in a lot of instances, folks want to know, can they trust it? If it's AI, that's the first thing. Can we trust it? And that is of greater importance now. And so, as a food blogger or somebody with food content on a website, people are going to ask that same question. Can I trust it? just lost my train of thought. I'm looking at the notes, but it didn't explain. I don't have it expanded, so I'm trying to catch it in my head. Right, I'm saying now trust is even more important. Again, see with the folks switching from the Google search to DuckDuckGo, for example, they're like, I didn't ask for this. Like, I want to know where it came from. Is this credible? And so it's an opportunity here for you as a food blogger to tap more into that, to lean into that and become a trusted source. Because they can, people buy from those they know and trust, and they trust you because what you've shared is not only valuable but has been tested and they have achieved the results, or they can trust the results that they get every time. I have certain food bloggers that I go on that I know every time I try a recipe, it's going to give me a good result. And if I make certain changes, then I have that in mind, but I know what the result I am supposed to get is. And that's because they have built a trustworthy reputation. Which brings me to the other point now, that now, as a creator, as a food blogger, is the time to stand out. And part of that standing out is being trustworthy. Because whereas people would generally find you through the search, more and more you're going to need people to look specifically for you. So this is where you want to say your brand visibility becomes important here. People need to know when they hear of your name or hear of your brand or blog, they know exactly what they're going to get. They know who it is. So they're going, or better yet, they want a particular thing. They're going to search for your name and that particular thing. So yeah, people know if they want healthy bowl at meal ideas, basic bowl nutrition is who they're going to search for. Or they're going to um, healthy meal or healthy bowl ideas, basic bowl nutrition, and they're going to search for that. You want to be known for what you're known for, so people can search for your name for the thing that they want. So if you're a baker, then you want people to search for a particular baked good with your name. So brand visibility is going to be even more important now. And as we've seen with the other Google changes, brand being ranked was the goal. Now being referenced is going to be the goal. But before I go back there, let me go back to brand visibility. And when I talk about brand visibility, it's not just about your logo. It's not about, your fancy brand colors. It's about you, the person behind the brand, what you stand for. So your values might be things that stand out. Your number of tests that you always share that you do, or the substitutions that you do, or the variations that you may offer. Now is the time to be more you. I think in building that brand, you have to be you. So stand on your values, stand on your core principles, stand on the ethic, the work ethic that you've built, because this right now is important for people to trust you. So building that brand visibility means being more you. Lean heavy into that. And especially because community is important now, I think AI cannot replicate that. AI cannot replicate those experiences, lived experience in particular. And so being more you is how you build community. And you build community, you build brand visibility. So that is what I wanted to go back to. So, and in talking about brand visibility and SEO, and remember the goal used to be to get ranked. Now the goal is to be referenced, and so you want to show up in those AI generated search results. And how do you do that? I think having an easy website and delivering what you say you deliver. So that means if you're a food blogger who you provide baking recipes, or let's say sourdough recipes, people know they can come to your website for sourdough recipes. They expect to see that. That's what they're going to get every single time. And it's easy to find easy to index, easy to reference. Sure, maintain your SEO ranking or SEO viability, credibility, not sure how to call it, but also make sure that you're easy to find and people don't have to go clicking all over to get to what it is that they want on your website. And the last thing I want to say about this is I think in the face of AI, I think I've been saying it all along, be you, be human. Because again, AI cannot replicate that. You're a human with a voice. You're a human with a set of skills that, again, AI cannot replicate. You're a human who has tested these recipes that you're putting out. You are a human who has curated your community for the number of years that you've been creating recipes. That cannot be replicated. They might be able to summarize it because they'll scour your website and see all the recipes and the pictures and all of those, but they cannot replicate you, the human. And a lot of folks now, in the face of AI, are leaning more into wanting that human connection. Because when they comment on recipes, save and accept the idiots, save and accept the really insufferable people who make comments. The folks who comment on recipes to say this recipe did this, or my family enjoyed this recipe. That is building that community. The ones who say, I make this every single week, or I make this every month, or I make this for every holiday. That is what building that community is doing. And so that cannot be replicated by AI. And people will trust that. It's like having social proof. A lot of times you buy something, let's use Amazon. A lot of people shopped on Amazon, even if they no longer do it. But a lot of times you would read the reviews and you wouldn't buy something until they saw a certain type of review, or if they had a certain number of reviews or a number of positive reviews before you bought the thing. And reviews are kind of like community in the sense that people will give you reviews either when something is really good or terrible. And if it's really good, then you're building a set of loyal, you're building again that community that I'm referencing. And as a food blogger, that is important because when people comment on your website and say, I enjoy this recipe, thank you for sharing it, thank you for giving me the substitutes, thank you for whatever it is they're going to thank you for, that makes the work worth it. Because when they comment, when they come on your website and then share it with everybody else, that is doing your website good and making it so that you can show up in these AI generated results. Of course, you have to do the work on the back end as far as making, proofing your site in a certain way so that you do show up as you would normally. But now you need to make sure that when AI generates these results and people go to do that search, you can show up in there as well. So my personal perspective is 100% valid to be concerned about AI. It's not all doom and gloom though, because we need to leaning on the human experience means connecting more with people, means people relating more to you. AI cannot do that. If anybody has tried to go to a website and talk to a human but keeps being the bot is being forced on them, especially when what you're trying to solve, the bot is not helping. I have a classic example of that. I had an error message recently when I was using a software, and all of the articles, none of the articles that they referenced helped me solve the thing. And I kept trying to use the bot on the site, chat support, to get a resolution, and I did not. And it was frustrating to know, and I had to send an email. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, I could still respond to that, but a human still had to come on and say, hey, this is how you need to solve the situation. So there is still need for human input. And so AI is here to stay probably, but it cannot replicate you. It cannot replace the human. And a lot of folks want that. A lot of folks need that. So in all of this, I want to say, keep you at the center of your brand in the sense that be a human behind the brand, because that is what people will trust. People will like you, know you, and trust you. They don't necessarily do that with robots. They do that with real human people, and they want to feel that connection. So that is how you stay relevant in the face of AI. So will AI replace food content? I don't think so. It will definitely try, but I don't think it's going to do that. I think if you understand how AI works, it puts you in a better position to tap into what the market needs, what your audience needs, and serve them better. And then make money as a result, because that's what we all want you to do. Make money so that you can support yourself, so you can, live your lives. This is not all free. As much as all people get recipes for free, you would like to be compensated, and you deserve to be compensated. So AI is here, but again, it's not going to replace you. At least I don't think it will. I think there's room for you, even more so now, to utilize AI if you want, but also navigate the AI landscape without losing. So that's what I want to share with you today. I hope that was nourishing for you. I hope that gave you some perspective. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, where I will be dropping more of these takes, conversations, but also inviting you to explore nourishment for yourself. And if you're a food blogger, getting your bringing your recipes to life, one photo or video at a time, right? Remember, if you're gonna do nothing else, nourish yourself one bowl, one moment at a time. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.